DD India's Shubhendu Ghosh joins us from newsroom. Hi, Shubhendu. Now it's been decided that both Trump and Putin would be meeting in Alaska. Shubhendu, now how crucial this meeting will be and what all issues are likely to be discussed?
Hello, Siddharth. Yes, a very high-stakes meeting set to take place between President Donald Trump of the US and Russian President Vladimir Putin. This happens next coming Friday, that's August 15th in Alaska. Now, there's this one agenda, how to end this already dragging conflict between Russia and Ukraine. But there are a lot of factors associated with it. Now, the challenge is that the gulf, the trust deficit between Moscow and Kiev is so large that it will be interesting to see what kind of headway is being able to made when these two leaders meet. They've met earlier in 2019. The circumstances were entirely different then. Donald Trump, in the past 8 months of his new tenure, has tried everything with Russia, from reprimanding Zelensky to warming up to Russia to then apparently supporting Ukraine in a more open manner and threatening sanctions on Russia if it does not end the conflict. The deadline was yesterday, by the way, and nothing much has changed. So he's seen those extremes not working out, and now it may be time for real politic. Already in the language we can see of America talking about possible swapping of territories. It'll be interesting to see what that swap would entail if we're talking about the conflict, the territories that Russia has so far captured of Ukraine. It's about 20% of the Ukrainian territory, part of the southern peninsula, Crimea, that was annexed earlier, and also the Donbas region in the east. That's about 1/5 of Ukraine under Russian control. Okay. Ukraine, at the moment, it did make some headway last year in 2024 in August when it got parts of the Kursk region in Russia, but Russia has taken it back, most of it. So there's not much swapping that one can see if we look at the realities of the battlefield. And then we'll have to also see the manner in which this meeting, this negotiation will miss out on key players. The key adversary, Zelensky of Ukraine, is not going to be there on the table when the leaders talk. And also importantly, the NATO partners of Europe are not going to be present. So what these leaders are able to agree on, will those points be agreeable to other stakeholders of the conflict, will be something that one will have to watch out for.
Definitely, we'll have to wait and see what happens, Shubhendu, since you've just mentioned that Zelensky won't be there and NATO partners won't be there. As far as the current situation is concerned, Shubhendu, a solution might require Ukraine to surrender significant territory. You know, Trump also suggested that agreement would involve some exchange of land, but Zelensky has reacted. He clearly stated Ukraine won't cede land. Now, in this situation, can we expect any solution?
That's right, Siddharth. In fact, we should look at some of the statements that came out in the sharp response that Zelensky had posted earlier. He says war can't be ended without Ukraine. Talks are happening far away in Alaska. Symbolically also that from the principles of the conflict, it says Russia is doing evil. Russia started the war, it must end. So we see Ukrainian President Zelensky maintaining his earlier position, putting the entire responsibility of this conflict on Russia. So the maximalist position which has been making it so difficult for Russia and Ukraine to come to a negotiating table, come to some sort of an understanding or a compromise, that sort of status quo appears to be maintained still. And that what it appears is going to make the talks between Donald Trump and Vladimir Putin complicated. And remember, a conflict that is in its fourth year now, may not be possible to be ended in just a meeting. This could be, if it shows some positive signs, it could be first of the many meetings that Trump and Putin could have. We're learning from our sources that possibly US President Trump could meet next Vladimir Putin in Russia. So we'll have to see what is the direction that these leaders take and to what extent will that be acceptable to Ukraine and the European partner. But for now, it does appear that things are moving on predictable lines, and what Trump and Putin agree or discuss will have to be checked and be verified by Zelensky and, of course, the NATO partners.
Definitely, Shubhendu. We'll have to wait and see what will come out of the meeting between the two leaders that will take place in Alaska, and what will happen after that. But the thing is that war has to stop, this conflict has to stop, and how soon it will stop, it remains to be seen. Thank you so much. We'll leave it there, Shubhendu.